Welcome to this edition of Diplomatic Passport, the show that gives daily weekday updates on coronavirus and its impact on Zimbabwe and beyond. My name is Robert Mukondiwa. First, a quick update of where we stand as a nation with regards coronavirus. Now, the government has condemned as fake a doctored circular purportedly from government announcing the freezing of rental payments in Zimbabwe. While it was something deliberated at taskforce levels, the Zimbabwean government alleges it cannot interfere in what is essentially a social contract between citizens, according to the existing laws of Zimbabwe. So as it stands, you are still in trouble with the landlord or landlady. Elsewhere, the Ministry of Health and Childcare released statistics which sent our hearts slumping a tad. A fresh active case has now been recorded, bringing to 10 cases since Zimbabwe's outbreak, including one mortality. The latest case is one of a 24-year-old Harare resident who returned home from the United Kingdom a fortnight ago. And still on the United Kingdom, we continue to monitor news that country's Premier, Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who announced that he had tested positive for coronavirus last week, has since last night been taken into intensive care. Prime Minister Boris Johnson was moved to intensive care in hospital after his coronavirus symptoms, quote, worsened, Downing Street said. A spokesman said he was moved on the advice of his medical team and was receiving, quote, excellent care. Mr. Johnson has asked Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab to deputize where necessary, the spokesperson added. Now, the 55-year-old Prime Minister was admitted to hospital in London with persistent symptoms on Sunday evening. But for now, for this special edition of Diplomatic Passport, I announce the granting of a special diplomatic passport to the man of the moment. It's an episode that you've been waiting for. He dealt with your hunger for entertainment in this dark time by dropping an amazing gem of a video aided by our sponsors today, Nyarazo Group, a video for Kumahumbwe. Today he comes to the studio to interact with his fans who otherwise, all things being equal, would have enjoyed an album launch last Friday, as he has a new product stored for his fans. Under lockdown, that was not to be. I've given away so much because that man is none other than Mukondiwa, the man the world and the nation know affectionately as Jah Prayzah. Now, before we commence, please note that at ZTN we pride ourselves in following the book, and as a result, we are holding an extremely controlled interview in a freshly disinfected and decongested studio for this very special broadcast. Jah Prayzah, welcome to this very special broadcast.
Thank you so much,
Passport.
Thank you for having me. Yeah. Matogona mavamango gadzirisa ipapo because kwemi muri kuita ikoko mawana ibva
exactly. So tautaura, you know what,
yeah,
this is disinfected,
yeah,
and people should know kuti tinoteedzera mutemo, tinoteedzera zvinotaurwa, and we disinfected this place. And usually this program airs daily and it's got an ordinary person, a regular presenter like me, but today you have made it special, and thank you for coming.
Thanks,
and making it special today.
Thank you so much.
But where do I even begin? Lockdown, for example, what has it done to Mukondiwa, the father figure? What are you doing at home pa lockdown, panapa? And perhaps ukanduza how you start your day from morning to night, from papaonomuka to paunorara kuti lockdown uri pamba.
Yeah, unoziva kuti itime yakaomera munhu wese anohasla, because unenge wajaira kushandisa zuva rega rega kuita something chinozokupa something.
Okay.
But then iri nguva futi dzimwe nguva inomboshaya ana baba, nguva inomboswera nemhuri dzavo. Unoziva ndadzidza zvakawanda zvandasingazive pamusoro pevana vangu nenguva yelockdown iyoyi, zvokuti ndakuijaira, and ndakuda kuchitoziva more about my kids kuti vanozvifambisa sei. Ndandichiona mwana wangu junior akubata mamwe macodes emakeyboards andisati ndamboziva kuti ndo zvaanoita. Vana vangu vakutaura mamwe mawords manyowana ndisati ndambonzwa vachitaura, you know. So iko zvezvo yakuita kunge routine. Tinomuka makuseni, todiridza miti, todiridza lawn, totamba bhora kana zuva rakunowira, then kuma 6 takutamba magame. but nongodyiwa mudhara because vapfana vemazuva ano vanoziva. Yeah, ndizvozvo ndingoswera ndichifara nemhuri nekutamba nemhuri.
And it's funny that you should mention that because now that's the next question I wanted to ask. And yet, behind it all, it's something of a blessing. Now we are being forced to spend time with these people. She's a very nice person. We'll be just interacting, go on for a couple of seconds and then you leave, and you've got a very interesting life because my international tours, like Kawanda and things like that. So that's what I wanted to ask. What new things have you learned or from your family, rather, which you didn't ordinarily see because of your busy schedule?
Like I said, my firstborn, Mukudze Junior, ndakatoshamisika kuona akuridza macodes ehokoyo because ndofunga niya kuti yanga ngubva mukubuda asi macodes ari easy kuti mwana mudiki angoereka nakumabata and ndanga ndichisangana nemawords manyowana akutaurwa nevana vangu so it's something chiri kundinakidza and ndoda kuziva more nanhasi kuti ndetwupi tumwe tunhu ndikwanisa ndaziva twakagonekwa nemhuri yangu twakwanisa ndakuziva. So kwandiri hangu hazvina kureruka asi kune rimwe side ndiri kufara nekuona zvimwe zvinhu kubva kumhuri yangu.
And then apart from family, uri munhu who actually writes a lot of music.
Yes.
Chichi, and perhaps this time, are you reading something? Are you writing something? What are you doing in terms of side kwako kana wazoita that little quiet time where you want to read and write?
Fortunately handina chandiri kuita chakadaro nepamusana pekuti kana uchangobuda mustudio manga uchipinda usiku nemasikati, tanga tichishanda before corona yanatsoita, tanga tichishanda natamuka usiku nemasikati. So kana pane chinhu chandisiri kuda kuona iko zvinezvi studio kana anything chine chekuita nekunyora music, saka I think inguva yanga iri right kuti zviitike kwandiri besides kuzoaffect kwakaitwa album launch.
And then, of course, before the album launch, chat out a lot about that album launch because a lot of people are asking a lot of questions, and all sorts of things. But you blessed them last week. Waka released an absolutely beautiful video, one that I fell in love with almost immediately. But maybe to the very, very few of you that have not watched the video yet, here is a sneak preview of what we are going to be talking about, the video to the song Kumaumbwe.
Zvakatangira musunde nashe tikasangana kusimbe ndaitisimuka titambe aiwa kuza chirongo tiumbe chimwe tichadira dore rimbe ndikiro mutari wedzinde ndiye mwene wenzimbe usaramba ukatinde usandirindire mwenzi watiche ndongaganyama tiche wozotanga waverenga tsamba yandanyora ndiyo tsamba yandanyora.
Now, that was a snippet of the video for Kumaumbwe. Now, today, for the viewers out there, we shall open the lines to the program, and you can call in and ask Jah Prayzah anything about his art, and perhaps even send in some requests. You can also comment in the comments section, and we shall be reading those as the show goes on. And the number to call is inclusive of the Harare code, and that's 242-702-867. That's 242-702-867, and I believe that number shall be posted on the screen so that you can call and talk to us. We're going to be having an interactive session, and as always, I always want to keep this interactive. Tell me, even on our social media handles, where you're watching us from, and send in a couple of questions. And indeed, let's enjoy lockdown. Let's not make it miserable. Remember, this special diplomatic passport is proudly stamped to you and for you by Nyaradzo Group, who came on board today as our very, very special sponsors. Now, we asked some people to send questions ahead of the show, JP. Edward Kararira wants to know something. Zwanzi, he and Blacks, that's you and Blacks did an excellent job bringing back to life the 2018 hit Kumaumbwe of Chitubu with immaculately done visuals. Zwanzi, are you considering doing the same for my all-time best international collaboration from you? Special someone featuring the legendary Sauti Soul of the same album. Ranzi, are you doing a video? Edward, I don't have video. Edward, did have video?
Yeah, you know, maybe kana song yakatoka ninge yakuda remix to chinja one or two things kuti try kuita nyowani futhi mbijana then tozeta video, I don't know, or maybe tichaita imwe song nesauti Soul tozobudisa video. Taida kuita video but nguva yacho nezvakawanda zvaitika nguva yacho zvakatadza kuti kwanise kuita video.
But in terms of scripting, one time because you're not reading, you're not writing. So maybe do something for Edward, and I'm sure he'll be absolutely happy. I'll tell you, Edward and I, we talk a lot on Facebook, and the reason why I get a lot of his responses is I would fight him a lot about Jah Prayzah's work, and then he's a big defender. This is what he does. It's because of this saga. I just had to read a comment from him because he sent quite a number of questions. But also, since you've got this time, many times you know to drop some new music or some new videos, and you don't see responses like Edward. But now, after dropping the video, you were at home, you had all the time on social media to see what people are saying. What is your view about just the general response video from a fans?
Yeah, honestly, I was surprised because I didn't expect such positive feedback. You know, you know, Zimbabweans are no blaster. You know, so naga feedback. If video is very simple, like you say, but impact yaka is my comments and I own now so thanks to my fans angu nevese notsigira JP music ne feedback motivate.
And also the plot twist, that's another thing about one. You know, this feedback that we're getting, and I personally loved it because of that. Goriati teachings what Chiimba, Goriati is a rival suitor or rival lover. Also, in this particular interpretation, the video interpretation, Goriati becomes death, and it becomes an emotional song. You know, who's the team you got to work on that? Who came up with that idea, and how did you guys, you know, work on it? Could change the obvious, a plot twist.
Itim yakakura and zvinozongoita hazvo kuti maybe credit yakawanda inouya kwandiri because ndini munhu ari pamberi pecamera kunyanya, but tina umusevenzi kablacks, simbilimbi ndianomhanya zvinhu zvakawanda, logistics dzese, management team yangu and Nyaradzo, you know, ndosaka makangoona pane logo reNyaradzo panopera video, you know, zvakabva zvangorelata futi nevideo, you know, so chikwata chihombe and zvinotora pfungwa dzevanhu vakawanda kuti pazobuda chinhu chakanaka kudaro.
Chikwata chihombe. Umusevenzi kaBlacks yesterday commented akaona the video, the poster that was talking about, you know, this particular show. Over commenters wanzikana poster yenyu, your pictures, you were JP and Robert, you tweet social distancing because it's very far apart, and this is something we want to keep telling the rest of Zimbabwe. Please keep practicing social distancing. Now JP would rather be close to have fun, but we're not doing that because COVID-19 is not allowing us to do that. And as you can see, only problem is and you know, it would have been easier. But JP is very tall. You know? He's very tall. It's like social distancing, but I think we still have a meter. But if it were anybody else, but you know, it's it's a thing that we want to encourage with social distancing.
True.
And of course sanitizing. Jah Prayzah actually was sanitizing his hands before he got into this building, and as I was saying, it is a very extremely controlled environment. Now, okay, we shall keep tabs about the video and we shall be following up with you guys, but I need to know that there's a video, that there's an album that you guys wanted to ask about. And you were supposed to release it, but COVID-19 and then it just swept away the thing and move my shelf and whatever. People will know certain things about this video, but just from you, I mean the album, sorry, but just from you, what's the name of the album? What did you? I know if you don't unleash an artistic piece of work, it's not squeenya. You really wanted Zimbabweans and of course people, all your fans all over the world could interact with that artistry.
Yeah, kunyanya tanga tanyanyoita mariesals andakafunga kuti this time around tanga tanatsogadzira chinhu chedu zvakasimba. Tatakagadzirira mafans edu performance isina kumira zvakanaka. And takabva tambozvimisa zvichireva kuti unozva marehearsals anoda kuramba achiitwa kuti murambe makajaira, so it's something chekuti maybe chatotanga kuti 1 kana zvichinge zvazodzikama,
because you get in a zone kana uri an artist unoda kusvikirwa unzi even unzwa spoon ichidona kana tsono, you don't want to hear that. Pane ka continuity kana achida kuti
kachinofanira kunge kachiitika. So izvozvo ndo zvakanyanya tirwadze. Asi unotozoona kuti no, pane zvinhu zvakakurisa kune dzimwe nyika dzakawanda zvakakanselwa pamusana pecorona, but tangomirirawo nguva yazvichapera and tozongoenderera mberi.
But at one time you guys said you wanted to have an online launch. Chichakazopa kuti muite shelf that as well, nokuti vanhu vanga kuti okay tatadza kusvika ikoko kunomuona, but chinhu chedu chikuchida and today in online launch. Online
yedu yataida kuita yanga isingori a simple online beginning, yanga iri setup yakati kurei inoda futi vanhu vakawanda vari behind the scenes vakati one day, so taidzokera futi paproblem yemanumbers so that's one. And two, tikanazvifunga futi kungopedzera ndangoti ndinoda kulauncha album rangu chete, zvaibva zvaita kunge ndisiri concerned about chinhu chaparadza vanhu vakawanda and chiri kunetsa vanhu vakawanda,
because obviously amongst vanhu vacho vacharwara vachata say they are your fans.
Mafans angu
kuti fan akarara wanzwa kuti ningi wako is still continuing their life as usual. Pachivanhu chedu and our morals. Absolutely. And now I've got a question there from Anesu Tsiga zvanzi saka confirm kuti what will happen to the album now. Changomira kupera corona here kana
iko zvinezvika kutaura chokwadi handisi kuziva kuti chaita sei. Zvinoenderana maybe nenguva yatichatora takamirira kuti zvipere, kana yakarebesawo maybe kune chingokandawo 1 tichidaro, but kana zviri zvinhu zvichakurumidza kupera maybe tichadzoka back to our original plan yekunatsolauncha album.
So there you have it, Anesu. There are a million answers to that question because we do not know how Corona is going to take us forward. Of course, certainly we are on a 21-day lockdown, but that doesn't mean that's the duration of COVID-19. We may go beyond that, and certainly we pray we don't, but this is just something that's bringing uncertainty. Now, Gora Zoa Machoronga has a million questions. Anzi, traditional feel iaseko yakaitwa abandoned. Ichadzoswa rini? Can you have hokoyo with the mbira feel yatakapiwa pa snippet iya? Because studio version yakanoputsa mutakunanzwa watanga tamirira. So, and this is very contentious, because you'll find some people want the urban contemporary sound. But pane vangu vanenge vachiti tikuda desert. How do you balance that?
Ndizvo zvobva pane tumwe tunhu turi technical twavanogona kuzotadza kunzwisisa, like mbira yangu iri yakalokwa mumakeys G na C, then hokoyo pandaiimbira panonatsobudira voice rangu zvakanaka iri high, mbira dzakaramba kuita se dzakaramba kukwana ipapo, but vibe hosho dziripo dzinokavhira mudhara ichingori traditional vibe after all. So yeah, pane tumwe tunhu tunogona kuzotitadzisa kuita zvimwe zvavanenge vachiexpecta nepamusana petumwe tumatechnicalities twavasinganzwisisi.
But also, since you mentioned your keys and everything, I've also seen you play solo.
Okay.
And this is a question that also came through Pama Advanced Questions, because when you play solo, it's also very beautiful, and the band will kill me.
Yeah.
But people are asking, could you say more of those? Darawedu, Oliver did Ndega Zvangu, you know, kumbaita solo projects. Even a solo one-man show or just something cut down. Kutimboona that, you know, a different feel here and there. Why don't you go that route here and there?
Yeah, it's something chandaitofunga kuti ndinofana kuzoita. Chinonatso sense ndine masongs anopinda mbiri akati one day, so that show yacho haisvikoita 10 minutes 20 minutes handisina masong ekuridzira vanhu. But now because ndane ma-traditional songs akati one day ndokwanisa kupusha for 1 hour 30 minutes or more.
Okay.
Ndoda kutomboita maybe set ine ma-traditional songs chete, asina zvimwe zvimagetsgets zvesezvo, you know, something chandanga ndichiri kutofunga zvekuti munhu avhunza anenge ari kuziva.
And you see, that's why I said it's contentious, because on one hand pana wanda magesi wayo, and then on the other pana ana negrin gora varikuti, no, we want this. And also the funny thing is, while people are saying we want that sound, I'll take you back, for example, to an album Reguti Mdara Tugaga Tango introduce ochi my traditional instruments like Wanda Mbira Chichi, and then he lost ka urban contemporary kankambo ripogage. When I tango to paisa Mbira diuzo sonana ningi. So you cannot always please everyone.
As naureruka kuti vanhu vese vazo, you know, but unozoti pane mamwe markets manyowan anouya nekamwe vibe kaya, you know. Andisingade kudisappointa as well. So unongori patight ndikufana kufadza vanhu vese, you know. So ndinotry by all means kuti paalbum rangu rese rinenge rine zvese, rine mbira, rine ana ndinda mbata, rine ana watora mari, you know, kuti paite kabalance kacho ikako.
And also now Nigel Funde, you know Nigel Funde.
Yes.
He's also got a question. You know his questions are scary, but today, don't worry, Nigel Funde says, ask him if he may drop a Corona song. He is an influencer, and his song will inform rural folks. And you see, especially kwedu ma rural folks, people will listen to what Jah Prayzah has said. Of course, pane a song here or two, but you're a very great influencer. People will listen. You know, somebody may not like you, but they will listen because of the influence. Or somebody may like you, but they will just listen even if you speak nonsense. But no, but this is our person. We want to follow their lead. You know, we used to listen when other artists even were kosora. And you, when you cough, people all over, especially kuruda kushuka shoko. Shoko rakafamba, but arena kuzoshika kune dzimwe. And so zunzi. Are you considering that?
Since Nigel, I think that consider.
Well, speaking of rural folks, have you checked up on people who Zumba lockdown ipapo, wakambophona kumusha ere and that sort of thing?
Yeah, ndinofona vabereki vangu ndichinzwa kuti kwakamira sei, but so far vanongoti hatisati tambonzwa any case. But ndichingovakurudzira kuti varambe vari mumba, vamboavoida kushanya nekushanyirwa, because unogona kusazviona but zvinouya wakavarairwa usingazivi.
Well, I can assure you that for some funny reason, ndandiri kumusha kwa Mrewa ndikaenda kumusha kwa Mtoko this past weekend, there is a shutdown. Actually, people have heeded that shutdown more than in the cities, funny enough. Pamrewa panga pasina kana munhu, pamtoko panga pasina kana munhu, you just see the police who are helping us in this lockdown. So yeah, shoko shoma diki rakasvika iroro rinenge rakanyatsoteererwa rakaita basa saka don't worry about kumusha vari sorted. Now before I ask Jah Prayzah to play his first live online track, he's come with his beautiful mbira here today. We're going to have a question from Robin Chaiva, who says, why don't you do more online shows? online shows. Sambotaura nye masolo, but online shows. I think it's been a thing right now. You know, John Legend doing online shows. Wanani, you know, could you say you know, you doing this for us online?
The Tangira of ZTN.
Oh, you started with the best. You started with the best. You see, Robin, he started with the best, and he's giving us Negrosaka. I think you preempted Jatuda Kuita, but I think right now, Bata Chinu, if you're just joining us, of course, please get in touch with us on our social media handles. Give us comments. We are hosting Jah Prayzah today because you cannot be with him where you love to be with him at those concerts and at those live events. But we felt that today we needed to have a social with him to find out what arguably the greatest star in our country is doing. And this is why we've asked him to come and grace this. Tirukupiwachi Iejin.
Regatimboita Kide.
Ah, yeah, okay. Tirumbo Piwa Kide.
Darara takatakiwa tamugira muzango, tamugira musango. Azipo tangomukira tatangidza mutambo, tatangidza mutambo. Tarara takatakiwa tamugira muzango, tamugira musango. Kamarige zekapera, kamarige rusambo, kamarige rusambo. We turn it up, we turn it up. We turn it up, mama, we turn it up. We turn it up, we turn it up. We turn it up, mama, we turn it up. Ndiri non-starter, zvishinge zvandibata, ndorema semagata, no wahala, hakuna matata, everything's sawa sawa. Ndiri non-starter, zvishinge zvandibata, ndorema semagata, no wahala, hakuna matata, everything's sawa sawa. Kide, wandibata samambo, kide. Kide, ndikafunga chinambo kide. Kide, wandibata samambo kide. Kide, ndikafunga chinambo kide. We turn it up, we turn it up. We turn it up, mama, we turn it up. We turn it up, we turn it up. We turn it up, mama, we turn it up.
Beautiful song there. Chimoya Soduza about Kide. What's the message? What's the story about?
I think ingori song isina chainodzidzisa kunze kungofara, you know. Pane nguva yekuti vanhu hapasi pese pavanoda kunzwa masongs ane dzidziso. Une nguva yekuti ukapinda mubhawa usida kunzwa kuti manangu uchaiona nhamo yacho chaiwe.
Exactly.
You know, so it's just a song inongo yekufara.
So let me bring you closer to some of the people who are watching with us. Zvanzi Panayata Udakumaumbwe. And then we've got Sihle Kumalo saying, "Stay humble, JP. We love your music." Wow. And then we've got Simba Piroro saying, "Kide is actually their favorite song." So, wow. And you've just hit home for Simba Piroro there. We've got Amai Gamu watching, Augustine Moyana, Mtape Paida, Brian Saurombe. We've got Patty Gumbo. I think we've got people from all over the world who are also joining us and watching with us. Anyway, we were talking about the fans. Do you miss the fans? Because right now, of course, you're playing and you're enjoying your music and you enjoy your art. But I think it must be different playing here, playing in a studio, for example, when you were recording recently, to actually interacting with the fans.
Yeah, you know, the music tinoitira my fans, and even kuperforma pasina chaunga chinchakaomesesa, because you need vanhu vanokumotivata, vachiscreama vachita zvavanoita zvese zviya ndozvinokupa simba kuti urambe uchita sei, urambe uchivhaya. So kana even ndofunga kuti ndizodzokera pastage chatomboita marehearsals ekuti ndinatsomeka sure kuti ndichiri kupusha here for 3.5 hours, you know, because nyama zinenge relaxa. Yeah. So yeah, inguva yakangooma kuti cause music inini kwandiri yakangofanana nemweya wekufema. Kusuffocate mudhara right now and sikupa mafans vanofana vange vachiwana. So yeah, that's what my fans are big time.
Yeah, so but what is it exactly about the fans you like? Is it the screaming? Is it the and yet you seem to revel and enjoy all that?
Yeah, tinoona zvakawandisa. Kuma live shows kwasho, yeah, of course, vanhu vachiscreama vachiita zvavanoita zvinonakidza, but kune madrama akawanda anongoitika even uri pastage unotombovarairwa kuti chii chakuitika hapo, chii chakuitika hapo, you know. Zvinhu zvandasuwa zvese izvozvo, and macomments as well pasocial media anobva kumafans ari negative ariko tamajaira, and ari positive anotisimudzira, anotimotivata. Tinoramba tichada macomments iwayo.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's brilliant. You know, to a fan, sometimes even your own fans may like something and not like another thing.
Oh yeah,
like we heard someone saying, why don't you go back to this or go back to that?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I think just so that we take a little bit of a breather, let's go back to Kwinanu, who are supporting us today. They also supported the video. They've been very, very big on support. They supported us. Last week I was actually tested because of Nyaradzo, and I'm very thankful. I was found to be COVID-free.
Congrats,
and now I'm making sure I maintain a status for the good of my community. And so I should stay at home and I should not be touching people. Unfortunately, I can't stay at home, but I'm thankful, of course, for Nyaradzo for supporting us today and also supporting the arts and supporting you and your video. So let's hear what our sponsors have to say.
Losing the person I loved the most was one of the hardest things I've ever had to face.
And because I was away from home, it made it much more difficult.
That is when I saw how important it is to have a friend.
A friend to ease the burden.
A friend to take care of things when you can't.
A friend to help you get home.
zvakatangira musunde nashe tikasangana kusimbe ndaitisimuka titambe haiwa buza chirongo tiumbe chimwe tichadira dore imbe
ndikiro mdyari wedzinde ndiye mwene wenzimbe usarama ukatinde usandirindire mwedzi watiche nongaganyama tiche wozotanga waverenga tsamba yandanyora ndiyo tsamba yandanyora
Losing the person I loved the most was one of the hardest things I've ever had to face.
And because I was away from home, it made it much more difficult.
That is when I saw how important it is to have a friend.
A friend to ease the burden.
A friend to take care of things when you can't.
A friend to help you get home.
ndakatambira musunde nashe tikasangana kusimbe ndaitisimuka titambe aiwa kuzo chirongo tiumbe chimwe tichadira dore limbe
ndikrobyari wedzinde ndiye mwene wenzimbe usarama ukatinge usandirindire mwedzi watiche nongakanyama tiche wozotanga waverenga tsamba yandanyora ndiyo tsamba yandanyora
Well, there you have it. Those were words from our sponsors. And of course, some of you are saying, keep dropping that little snippet. We want to keep listening to Kumaumbwe. A beautiful, beautiful track there, made even more mellow and touching by an absolutely brilliant video. One that only the gods could leave their fingerprints on. We're watching what you're saying, and we're still with Jah Prayzah in here, and you're saying, Tendai Mpaso says, you bring hope and pride to Zimbabwe, JP. This is tricky. I mean, it's without a president or something, I don't know. Tapiwa Zimunya says, please do more online shows, especially Munguaye lockdown. I'm watching from the United Kingdom, so people keep coming with their views on those shows. Okay. And as you said, you started here, and he's going to be entertaining you as time goes on. But what we saw from that little snippet, there's Mkuze Jr. in that video, and he's become quite a hit. Let's see him in action first, and then we talk about, especially you were talking about how he's good with the keys and things like that. Let's see what he does. That's Mkuze Jr. there, and working alongside his father. And if we're still expecting your calls, and if you want to call us, there's a number on the screen, 0242 702 867. You can call us and interact with me and Jah Prayzah. But in the meantime, Jah Prayzah, this man, Mkuze Jr., is being groomed very early by his father. But how do you safeguard him and ring fence him from my ears, the social media, and in the media we can write things and say, this was a nonsense song, Chichi. And you're an artist and you know how to take this, because we're only as good as our last song. But it's also, we're older people and we're strong. And then I'm going to get back from this and I'm going to be strong. But if something like that is seen by your child, especially when you're grooming him, it may leave him dismayed and things like that. So, unomita say so that the people don't, the real world, as you're saying, sometimes but it's good for you, it's not good for the child. How do you safeguard your child?
Yeah, I think kuwa namkana kutaura ni mwana kwakakosha anofana kuziva kuti chinhu chese chaunoita chine vanochifarira nevasingachifariri, nekuti hakuna munhu anokwanisa kufadza munhu wese. That's why munhu wese aine choice yemusic yaanoda kuti ndoda iyo. Zvakazongoipazvo kuti anoda iyi asingade iyi anozonyomba anoita iyi
kana kuda kurwisanisa.
Kana kurwisanisa.
Pane unenge watoziva pane atumira message vanzi ningi unomukunda here, andisota ningi wacho ndiani, ndokuti asikuda kurwisanisa ndoumba negirini kuti panya but andisikuda kuzviita, asi zvatoitwa pama messages vanza kumubvudze kuti ningi anomukunda here. You see, so that's exactly what you're talking about.
So zvakakosha kuwana nguva iyoyo kungotaura nemwana achiziva kubva achiri mudiki. Kwoitawo zvimwe zvinhu zvakawanda zvaasingafaniri kuona zvichienderana nezera remwana. Kune vana vangu vadiki kwaari vekuti ndine mavhidhios akaita kunge chikomo ekuti ndichirohwa ndichiita sei. Kumwana ndadza kuzvinzwisisa kuti kuacta anofunga kuti mudhara vari kutorohwa zvishuwa, mwari akutotanga kushungurudzika. So ndo zvinhu zvacho, pane zvakawanda zvaanofanira kunge asingazivi nezvaanofanira kunzwa kubva kumbereki wake.
And are you taking him through certain classes, for example, official acting classes, singing classes, performance classes? And also, a lot of people are saying this is the best time to learn something, even Urman Mkuru, because there's a lot of time we've got on our hands because of COVID-19.
Sure.
What are you teaching your kids also in this period? Saka, is he learning something? Is he going off for official lessons? And what are you doing in the time Nevana in terms of learning and teaching?
Yeah, inini chandinonyanyoita ma-vocals, instrument yandinoridza imbira. So knowledge yandinogona kumupa zvinhu zvandinoziva zvandinokwanisa. But ndiri kuplana kuti azokwanisa kunge achidzidzawo atangire kumberi pane matangiro andakaita. Ndinambobvira ndaita kana handina chandakadzidza kumusic, chingori chipo chekuberekwa nacho, chikazongokurawo nepamusana pe-experience, you know. So iye ndoda kuti atangire pane imwe level. So chamuendesa kuma-lessons, unatsodzidzisa ma-keys anofarira, unatsomadzidza nenguva yakakwana. So okay.
So quickly, what do you suggest kuti my parents are able to teach their children during this lockdown, because now that they're spending more time with their children? What do you suggest?
I think zvinongoenderana kuti mwana anoite, because tikangoti vabereki vese pamwe mwana anoida golf, baba vanotamba cricket, you know, makatopesana. But kana takatarisana, especially takatarisana nenguva yakadai so, vana ngavasabuda panze, vana ngavagare vakashambidzika, ngavageze maoko, tivapewo vachinwawo zvinopisa, mvura chaiyo ine lemon, ginger, nechichichi. Tingovatita sevari kurwara neflu. You know, that way I think, yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to go for a short break. We're going to hear what our sponsors have to say, and we are also keeping tabs on what's happening at cabinet level for the task force, because you do know diplomatic passport gets you in the corridors of power to hear what those in authority will be saying. So first, an advert, and then we'll see what will be going on beyond that.
Loved the most was one of the hardest things I've ever had to face.
And because I was away from home, it made it much more difficult.
That is when I saw how important it is to have a friend.
A friend to ease the burden.
A friend to take care of things when you can't.
A friend to help you get home.
Okay, so this has been a great event where we've had Jah Prayzah here playing with us, and we are also now going to be crossing over to Cabinet to hear what update that we're going to be having today. But perhaps just quickly, Tipinzem Goto as we move to Cabinet.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, mambo. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, mambo. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, mambo. Oh, yeah, mambo, wangu, oh, yeah, mambo. Oh, yeah, mambo, wangu, oh, yeah, mambo.
So Cabinet received a status report for the food and water sustainability COVID-19 from the COVID-19 subcommittee. The chairperson of that committee is the Minister of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare, who apprised the Cabinet for that of the food and water sustainability, and that 3 places of safety for homeless people and children living and working on the streets had been established, as I have said, namely Mount Hamden, Jamaica Inn, and Beatrice Rehabilitation Center. Furthermore, government was exploring options of reopening some hotels as isolation centers. In addition, where necessary, COVID-19 affected persons are being supported through provision of basic necessities. Then Cabinet also received a report on the water situation at Victoria Falls and Lake Kariba. This was presented by the Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Water and Rural Settlement, Honorable Shiri, and Cabinet noted with satisfaction that the water flows in the Zambezi River had been improving significantly over the past weeks, with the flows at Victoria Falls rising from 3,840 cubic meters per second on the 26th of March 2020 to 4,270 cubic meters per second as of the 2nd of April 2020. Cabinet noted that the improved water levels would result in the Victoria Falls becoming more scenic and thereby attract more tourists. Also, this will result in increased water levels at Kariba, which bodes well for electricity supply. I thank you for listening. Back to you.
From ZBC. I'd like to know from Minister's presentations, she just said that they set up 3 centers for as homes for the destitute. I'd like to know, as of now, the number of kids that they've taken to those centers. How many are they?
Okay.
Thank you. Then, yes, please.
Thomas Matu, Richard. As a follow-up, what the plan after COVID-19?
Thomas, sorry, Thomas. Thomas, from which?
Richard.
To Secretary.
What the plan for the homeless after this COVID-19
Yes, please.
Effort on secure SABC News. The minister did indicate that they are setting up more testing centers. I just want to get an indication as to the numbers of those, how many per province or per district, because there's been a lot of outcry regarding the number of tests that have been carried out in the country, where for a population of almost 14 million, only less than 400 tests have been done, and we want to understand how many testing centers have been set up, broken down per province or per district.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Sani Nore, freelance with News of Africa. Honourable Minister, I would like to ask the Minister of Public Service. Last week, government indicated that it will be distributing kind of like a rescue package or an aid to those who have been affected, the vulnerable. I want to find out when will the government rolling out this program for the vulnerable, and probably to give us the modalities of it.
Okay, that's the end of round 1.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks, Devson from ZBC. You would like Honorable Mavima? Sorry. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Devson from ZBC. And this is directed to you, Professor Mavima. He is saying how many of those destitutes have been sent to these 3 centers which we were talking about.
Thank you. Let me be very, very direct and just say that we have 163 people at Mount Hamden Training Center. These include families, families are living on the street. But a total of 163 people are at Mount Hamden. Then we have 20 people at Jamaica Inn. These are 14 women and children, 6 children. These we separated from the Mount Hamden ones, mainly because of the presence of children. And these were women who were single women, but with children. So we thought Jamaica Inn would be more appropriate for them. We then we had 59 children through a rehabilitation center. But because of the limited nature of water supply there, and after 2 attempts to drill bores without yielding much, we decided to move these children to Beatrice Rehabilitation Center, which is a center that has adequate water, because COVID-19 requires a lot of hygiene. So for the 3 institutions, these are the numbers that we have. But I want the nation to know that we have also started a similar program for Bulawayo and other towns. And I can say for sure that in Bulawayo, we now have 29 children. These are minors, and we are taking them to Giles Chili Center over there. And efforts are underway in other towns where Mutare and the like. But these are the numbers that we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Mavima. If you can also tackle the question from Thomas 263 chat. He was just, he wanted to know what is the plan in terms of how you are going to deal with the homeless even well after COVID.
Honorable Chair, through you, this is a very good opportunity for the nation to address in a fundamental way issues related to those people who live and work on the street. There is a livelihood program that we are planning, especially for the adults that are, most of whom are at the Mount Hamden National Training Center. The Ministry will soon be announcing what kind of program we have started. It might, the actual training might actually go beyond the initial 21 days that were declared by His Excellency the President. So we're coming up with a livelihood training program. It might focus on agriculture, but I'm not saying only agriculture will be the focus. As far as the children are concerned, since they are minors, the main thing that we may have to do is either to place them in institutions, but also make sure that as schools open, they are also integrated into our education system, either at an informal level, but where it's possible to put them in formal education. So we are designing these programs as we speak, and at an appropriate time, we will announce to the nation as to what is going to happen. This is a very good opportunity for us to deal with the issues related to people living and working on the streets. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Professor Mavima, for those answers. And I just wanted to say to SABC, Mr. Kiwa, in terms of the question which you asked, I want to say the task force, which were the interministerial task force, is seized with making sure that we decentralize the testing. We do not want people to come from Zarabani to come to Harare for testing, neither people coming from Mutare coming to Harare for testing. So what we have been doing, you have seen that members of the task force have already gone to the provinces to talk to the provincial ministers who already, after the pandemic was actually pronounced as a pandemic by our president, they actually activated the civil protection units committees who had already started working on actually identifying isolation centers in their areas, whether it's all the way up to the districts. And that, in terms of a number of those testing centers, we will be able to give you that information from the Ministry of Health. But there's a lot of work which is being done to make sure that all Zimbabweans are taken care of in view of this threatening disease, COVID-19. In terms of the broken down list, we'll be able to avail that to you as soon as we get it from the ministry. But a lot of work has been put into it to make sure that we have got more testing centers that we decentralize so that all our people have access to these testing centers and also isolation centers. Going to, is it Felisani Ngube? Yes, yes. This is back to you, Honorable Mavima. When is government rolling out this program, and what is the mode?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We assist with the process of registration at the moment. 5 of the 10 provinces have already submitted their roles. The unfortunate thing was that these roles were actually in hard copy, and our staff is working on making sure that they are made electronic. We are still waiting for the other 5 provinces to submit their roles. But we have also come across a database that the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development has, which can help us a lot. It's a database that was compiled with the help of the World Bank, and it has in there about 3.5 billion. We are targeting the really food or really disadvantaged as a result of the lockdown, especially in urban areas. And we want to clean up that database. Our initial target is 1 million. We have resources for 1 million. So we want to merge these 2 databases, one from the Ministry of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare, and the other one from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development. As soon as we have cleaned up this database, we roll out the payments. And these payments have been paid at $200 per individual. So if a household is 4 people, they will receive something like $800. And this is going to be paid through, largely through One Money, which is the platform of Net1. But we are looking also to use Telecash as well as EcoCash. But we have a contract right now with One Money, and that's what we're going to use mainly. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mavima. And to move on, Chief Secretary, to the second round. I see there is quite a lot of interest on the COVID-19. I just want to direct to our journalists that we also have good news about the water levels, the improved water levels.
So you are being cornered now.
I'm not good.
Yes, please.
From ZBC, as directed by the minister, I'd like to my question to go to Honorable Shiri, whereby I want to know that pandemic, whereby those countries that has been helping Zimbabwe with electricity, look at HCB from Mozambique and ESCOM from South Africa, after the pandemic of the COVID-19, they would likely to first satisfy their markets. Can you give the guarantee that maybe the water levels at Kariba will see the country having enough electricity supply in terms of self-sufficiency in as far as generation of electricity will be concerned.
Okay. Any other one? Yes,
thank you, Takushi about from Zimbabwe TV. My question is directed to the Minister of Information. You highlighted that you have decentralized the testing. The lockdown, and we are hosting close to 100 people on average per day. Are we not wasting time as the lockdown is coming to an end? Because very soon we'll be having 2 weeks. Are we not wasting time by not moving in to actually start these mass testings, because we have the donation that came from Jack Ma, which had 20,000 testing kits. So what's the real challenge there to push maybe our testing to 500 a day, to go door to door like what we're seeing in other nations, to ensure that if we then say, let's open up the spaces like we saw in Bali today, there's no one there who's observing social distancing. If people don't know their status, and we have already started to open up those spaces, are we not then risking the spread? So are we not wasting time by not moving into these spaces and testing people on a mass scale? Thank you.
Okay. Yes, second prize.
Maybe just to put in perspective, on average we are testing around 18 to say what is the timeline that the task force has put for itself to say by this time we should have put testing kits in Mtare, we have put testing kits in Pinga, in Force, in Kamandama, and everywhere, countrywide. What's the timeline? Then my second question is regards to the what are the action post 21 days for government in terms of dealing with COVID-19? Are we likely to see a continuation? Because already we're on day 9 or so, and most of the things we're only focusing on is social distancing and the other aspects, but testing itself is so low.
Yes, any other beside? Or we are satisfied, yeah? So Honorable Chair, we end here, but I think there was a question which was not answered.
Which one?
On the number of
Testing. No, we will say we will avail that as soon as we get it from the ministry. I've already answered to that one. Yeah. Thank you once again, Devson from ZBC. Honorable Shiri, I know this is not to do with just water, but also to do with power generation. They want to know post-COVID-19 what is going to happen with this good news of improved water levels.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kariba at its peak produces about 1,050 megawatts. That means Kariba has to be complemented by the Wange, the thermal power stations, and of course a number of other thermal power stations, Bulawayo, Minyati, Harare, etc. So Kariba on its own will not be able to give us the self-sufficiency. But what we are celebrating today is for a long time the water levels had gone very low in the Kariba. And when we started receiving inflows, we had about 10% of usable water. We are now at 17%. That is as at 2 April. And that is against the average of 49.5 expected at this time of the year. And if you look at last year, 2019, this time of the year, we were at 36.3%. However, the difference is that last year, whilst we were at 36.3%, the inflows were around 800 cubic meters per second. The inflows into the Kariba. But this year around, the inflows are at 4,270 cubic meters per second. And the Zambezi hasn't reached its peak. It reaches its peak around the month of June. It's a well-known fact that most of the water which comes into the Kariba, flows into the Kariba, comes from the Barotse flood plains. These also in turn receive water from northwestern Zambia as well as Angola. The plains, after a long time being flooded, they are holding plenty of water. They are now releasing that water into the Zambezi. At some point, the inflows might start reducing, but that means we should be able to get enough early summer irrigation requirements. Maybe to give you some further insight is, whilst I've said the water level, the flows at the moment are at 4,270 cubic meters per second. This is above the average, which is normally expected this time of year, which stands at 2,547 cubic meters per second. Hence, there is every reason for us to start celebrating. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable President Shiri, for that answer. Taku, I hear you. You're saying we are wasting time. There's no time which is being wasted. From the time when this pandemic was pronounced by World Health Organization, Zimbabwe has been working hard, and your government has put together this task force, which is doing everything under its control to make sure that we are prepared to help our Zimbabweans. This is a pandemic. We are in a war. Everybody's aware of the fact that we are in a war, and we are working very, very hard and fast to make sure that what needs to be done is done. We are not just looking at the testing kits. Yes, we need more testing kits, especially the rapid testing kits. There's need to have more of those. We would like to have more testing. As I said, we're looking at decentralizing because we don't want our people, we talk of devolution, and this is why we have got these teams, the civil protection unit committees in all our provinces being headed by the Minister of Minister of State who is in charge of the province. They are actually they've already established isolation centers where they actually, when there's one person who has got symptoms of COVID, they would be able to take that person to that place and protect others from actually getting that infection. So there's a lot of work which is being done to make sure what is important for Zimbabweans, for you to know that nothing is left, no stone is being left unturned to make sure that we protect the people of Zimbabwe against this COVID-19. It's not something which the government was prepared prepared for. It's a pandemic. We are working hard, and there's going to be a lot of. The good thing is, as I've said, there has been a launch of that 2.2 billion domestic and human appeal for assistance, and we've seen already a lot of corporate companies coming on board. The St. Anne's Issue Hospital is actually corporate companies doing that. We are also hearing some companies interested in Montag. And there is actually a lot of interest. We are seeing all Zimbabweans converging, coming together, the business, the churches, the religious leaders, or the traditional leaders, all coming together. You've seen even the churches offering their buildings as isolation centers. There's nothing which is going to be left unturned. I want to assure you that, yes, we continue to plead for more testing kits, especially the ones which are faster, because the ones which they're using right now, they take maybe 5 hours. We would like those which can take 15 minutes. And all this is what we're also looking at protective clothing, because you can't expect the health workers to go and treat patients with COVID without being armed. It's like sending your soldiers unarmed to a war. So all these things which are doing, making sure that our universities, institutes of higher learning have started working on production of masks, production of sanitizers. We are sending out messages all the time, and you are helping us as the media to make sure that all our people are aware of the dangers and of this disease and what needs to be done, the measures which has been put in place for lockdown. So there's a lot of work which is done. We're also looking at CAPS to produce the medication which is required, and already they've started doing that. And all the other medication which may be required to treat those patients who may have it. So there's a lot of work which is being done. Wilkins, it's almost complete, and we're looking at other, in Blawayo, we are talking of Exileni, Thorn Grove. All that is meant to make sure that we have all these centers, testing centers and isolation to cater for all our people in our country. I thank you.
Thank you. That completes our briefing today. So let me thank Chair and colleague ministers for being here and answering the questions.
Oh, sorry, Chief Secretary Kolisani has said, okay, I answered about the testings, the continuation of lockdown. I thought when President announced the lockdown, he said it will be reviewed at the end. And I don't know whether you want him to review it now. I think we are still in the lockdown of 21 days. That's what we know. This is going to happen as quickly as all the testing kits are around. Thank you.
So I want you to thank the Minister, Chair, and the colleagues, and indeed.
So yeah, we've come to an end. Thank you.
The media for once more being so productive. So until we meet in the next session.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Chariga ngagaruga wawira chariga ngagaruga wawira goto machemere uyahone kondorine wemai agoto machembere uyahone kondorine wemai ziwere uwe ndewe ya goto changamire uyahone kondorine wemai goto machembere uyahone goto mambowe suari aradoga ingani yangu ainorire ngoma suari arayenda ingani yangu ainorire ngoma suari aradoga ingani yangu ainorire ngoma suari arayenda ingani yangu ainorire ngoma chariga ngagaruga wawira chariga Charika ungakaruka wawira goto changamire goto machembere goto vasikana goto mandwe goto changamire uyaone goto rine hwema.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful rendition there of Goto. And if you're just joining us, wherever you are still on Diplomatic Passport. We had briefly crossed over for our cabinet briefing, but we still have in the house here Jah Prayzah, who we promised would join us, cut down on his lockdown for a bit so that he at least entertains his fans and gives you the lowdown on his lockdown. What has he been up to? What has he been doing? And what to expect now and perhaps possibly beyond even the lockdown. And before we went on the break, Jah Prayzah, we were talking about your songs, and somebody was saying give us a COVID-19 song, but do you have a favorite song amongst your songs? Because I know it's a very difficult question to ask with the Fighter and the EP and that sort of thing, but do you have a favorite?
That song nonzi mchinjiko. Maybe ndipamsana bekuti ndakaita studio ndina moms the process yacho yekuti song yo izobuda. Tikaenda kumusha, tikaenda pachurch, tikaunganiza machembere, vakaimba, ticharekoda nemafoni, tikazopa ipapo ndikaenda na moms studio. Tikatanga kurekoda, titedzera zvawaita because song isiri easy kuiita.
Okay.
Yeah, ine zvima codes zvisiri, I mean zvima in a count isiri usual.
Okay.
You know, saka izvo I think zvakabva zvaita kuti ndinatso ida nemoyo wese. But pakuperforma pastage, Goto is my song.
Oh yes, oh yes. Somebody said about change it out to no go out to pass studio, but said no problem. If what we know what to do when a situation like that arises. Well, let me just say, as for me, my favorite songs are, let me think. Dio Erudo is a favorite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my stories are garbage. And then there's Ndine Ndikude.
Okay.
Which is Daira.
Oh yeah. Daira.
And Daira. No, I love Daira because to me though, Ndine Ndikude amazing. Daira, which is Ndiwe, which some people call it Ndiwe. So but then with Daira, I'm going to talk about a certain thing beyond this, and I'm going to mention it later on. But right now, if I were to ask you, who would you want to collaborate with now? And you've done a lot of collaborations, but could you my collaborations nani? Give me one name of a local person and one name of an international person, perhaps, or just any names, 2 names of people you would want to collaborate with. Sashke. It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Kundisimbisa mdara ndikataura zita racho mjava vanoti mira ndimfonera right now.
Oh yes.
You know, ndakagara ndiri big fan ya Rockford.
Okay.
I think first ane talent rimwe riri out of this world rekuti andigona kuzvitsanangura.
Those vocals are amazing.
Yeah, kana even manyorero ake and melodies ake magets.
Oh yes.
Then kunzoko ndofarira Alicia Keys.
Okay.
Maybe nenyaya yekuti anoita macodes are very simple and anorelata nezvandinoita as well. So yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why in that mention and green is it Daira. When I heard that song, I thought I would always hear Voicera Tango Kasando in the Nema Boswake.
Oh, yeah.
It's got those nuances, and I remember telling a colleague, I just always imagine, Saka, that's another thing you should also think of. You're going jazzy. Because there was something, a very jazzy feel. You know, you hear a song, but then, you know, it also reminds me of you know, my traits and my nuances as somebody else. So
Oh, yeah.
that's why we came for that. But we still have our lines open for any fans who shall be giving us their comments and requests. We do have comments at the moment right now. And we also want to hear what you guys are doing during the COVID-19 lockdown. But briefly, quick questions coming from Nigel Kabila Nyamtumbu. He says, is there pressure sometimes as artists to surpass the audience figures zevamwe? Kuti ndingabudisa chakadai so chakapedzisira chochita 1 million views in 3.5 minutes. And then ndinabudisa changoti makomana you know. So is there any pressure on new artists kuti I should do as well or better than chichangobva kuburwa? Ataura mazita ina nditaura mazita. Zvinoroyesa. That's one question, number one. Perhaps you answer that.
Okay. Yeah. Inini chinowanzorwisana neni zvinhu zvandakaita before. Because pese pandinoita chandinoita ndinotry by all means kuti ndichiite kunge ndo pandakugumira. Zvinozova a challenge manje kana ndakuita the next project. Because I believe kuti ndiri artist akasiyana nevamwe vese. So handina munhu wandinokompita naye. Ndinongofocasa on basa rangu. Chandinenge ndichiona kuti chandinomezha nacho kuti ndiri kusimuka here ndotarisa zvandakaita before zvandiri kuita iko zvinezvi kuti ndiri kupfuura here pane zvandakamboita before.
So as there you heard it, he is his own competition. So Nigel, that was your question, Nigel Nyamtumbu. You also have a follow-up question, also on the coronavirus. Wouldn't it be a perfect opportunity for musicians to do a collaborative effort to give people hope through entertainment? I mean, that's a suggestion. What do you think of that sort of suggestion?
Yeah, hazvinazo kuipa, but unoziva mamiriro azvakaita takangonzi takuta shutdown.
Yes.
Hapana akaseva mari ye-airtime. Ndikumiririra vamwe vangu, you know, hazvina kureruka. Vamwe vangu vasina kutombosubscribe wifi kuti vakwanise kunge vari padeni. Zvinhu zvakawanda zvinotitadzisa kuti tiningirikini. But inini hangu, like I said, ndatangira panapa. Tienda kumberi nchange ndichibatikirawo paInstagram, pafacebook, YouTube tichingo.
And maybe quickly my Instagram handles ako vanokubata pachi
Jah Prayzah Gmail. Jah Prayzah, Jah Prayzah chete. Then Facebook Jah Prayzah, Twitter Jah Prayzah zvese. Son wangu Mukudzei Junior. I think
all platforms. Wangoti pa tsamba negine kero yetsamba danda
vakaenda kuma-emails
wangotapinda uchipinda makadaiso makatsikirira kudaiswa.
But still I think anyway, amen.
Yeah, also on a light note, I always follow you. Maybe to start before Tashuka Igogo, how do you write your songs? You know, you were talking about being your own competition in the guys woods of if I want to read a good story, I write a good story.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you want to hear a good song, you sing a good song. But if you want to also if you want to hear a good song, you write a good song. How do you write your songs? Where does this inspiration come? You know, why you that rhyming, that lyricism? You know,
kazhinji kacho zviri easy kana uchiridza instrument kana kuti uchiteerera beat risina mawords. Because melody pachezvayo inokupa zvekuimba. Because melody iri kurira tune iripo kudhara. So chasara ndechekuti uchiisa ma-words pa-melody. So ini ndinonyanya inspire nema-instruments kunyanya. Kwetawo dzimwe nguva, especially ma-traditional songs. Inoona ungouya uchiya kuti ko song yabva kupi. Tanga ungoimba, then tozoridza after to record.
Okay. And speaking of songs, you sing a lot about the ladies or women, the female form, and you're good nema lyrics. But I wanted to know kuti vanotenga hembe kupi, because on almost every album pana anopfeka roko rinoti mbambamba. Havana here kunge vanotenga hembe dzinokwana. Kana dzakaregedzerawo dzisama dzangu mbambamba
dziripo mudara ukaona ukatarisa chikomo ine vanhu vakapfeka hembe hadzi kutorembera kusvika uko
vanhu vakapfeka but kana uchinzvanzi karope kane kakati
kakati mbambamba.
Yes, and those are the ones that see one. Do these women not have any way they can buy because what Jah Prayzah this one was Morocco kan.
Yeah.
This is a question. This is not coming from them, from the audiences. So.
Yeah.
But well, maybe answer which was on the Godzilla.
All right, don't by email.
Okay. But onto a serious note, I see you're an ambassador for a number of things, and also in Nyaradzo, they've got a cause, an initiative, your tree planting and that sort of thing, and you seem to have a good relationship with Nyaradzo. Where did that relationship start? Nana Nyati Mataranyika, Philip, tell us about your relationship with Muzo. We ran out a sponsor of the arts, because we know a lot of people do not want to support the arts in Zimbabwe, but they seem to go all out to assist and support you as a brand.
Yeah. Regana vanangotora futi mukana wacho kuvatenda, because hazvisi easy kuti uwane vanhu vanokutsigira music industry muZimbabwe iko zvinezvi, and ivo kungovapo kwavo zvakatirerukira pakuita mavideos and nezvinhu zvakawanda. Relationship yedu yakatangira kumashure ichigrowa, because ndaingoenda ndichinoridza machristmas party avo munharaunda nyika vangagara vangori fan yaJah. I think nekuramba tichidaro takazosvikawo pekuti iko zvinezvi I think zvakodzera kuti tishande tese. Ivo vachiona kuti mufana uyu anofamba so zvinoenderana here nemafambiro avanoda kunge vachiita zvikaenderana. That's why iko zvinezvi muchingoona tichishanda pamwe chete.
And Philip Taranyika and Nyaradzo are sponsoring us today for this special edition of Diplomatic Passport. And I wanted to also tell you something about Taranyika. This is, it was supposed to be a secret, but anyway. If you go for business and you visit Taranyika, you leave with milk.
No two ways.
But after that, unozoona kutumirwa a message after that, a song or two za Jah Prayzah, because he will have gone on and on achiti nyamashisha makanzwa ire song yakadai so mukomana anogona, and you're like yeah but not so iterera, and the moment you leave vyatumirwa kwaurudza achiterera, so you leave with milk and a Jah Prayzah song.
Yeah, and chimwe chechi3 nogona kubva wangobveko koine muti, because Nyaradzo inopromota upenyu,
tree planting, and that's why I'm very worried, of course, about this COVID virus, because it's something that is endangering us and our livelihoods as a people and as a planet. Going forward, pane panonzi vanhu vakanzwa when you do it, because you get very immersed in your music muchivanhu chedu, and you always say you grew up grounded muchivanhu. Vanoti Jah Prayzah anoita zvemashavi kana zvechivanhu zvakadai so. How do you answer that? What's your answer to something like that?
mazuva ekutanga zvaitomboita kakundibata sekuti vanhu vari kutii, but then I think even nguva yaMark Tyson ari muring airova munhu zvekuti vanhu vaizoti tifunge kuti zviri normal munhu pamwe hamino zvaari kutoona kana zvimurova. Talent rinogona kusvika pane imwe level yekuti vanhu havachabhilivha kuti zviri normal. So kwandiri handina problem nekuti vanhu vazofunge, and chivanhu chedu hachinyadzise. So hapana chekunyara, because chivanhu chedu chinofanira kutotidadisa. Kwandinoenda ndichinoshowa chivanhu chedu kune mamwe platforms, ndo zvinhu zvavanomhanyira kuti ichi ndo chakapenga ichi kupfuura zviri digital and zviri zvatinongoita mazuva ese.
Yeah, and you're right. Sometimes talent becomes so immense. Which is another thing I kept saying about this last video that you released. It's an absolute gem, and I wish you all the best. And as I'm one of your biggest critics, because as you were saying, you are as good as your last project. So you could compare against yourself, because there are a lot of people you would want to compare against another person, but because you keep trying to better your work, we keep comparing yourself against yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope it doesn't put you down. Well, you know, when some of your fans say something kind of negative about a project, it's just shows good they're very diverse people with a very diverse taste. So before we go, let us finally have a final word from our sponsors. Today, we were being proudly sponsored by Nyaradzo Group. And indeed, they've been with us for quite a while. Our relationship is growing with every day. That's Nyaradzo and us. And tomorrow, I have to tell you, they're also going to be sponsoring tomorrow's edition of Diplomatic Passport. But for now, a word from our sponsors.
Losing the person I loved the most was one of the hardest things I've ever had to face.
And because I was away from home, it made it much more difficult.
That is when I saw how important it is to have a friend.
A friend to ease the burden.
A friend to take care of things when you can't.
A friend to help you get home.
Well, there you have it. We would have wanted to connect with you, but indeed our lines were playing up, and certainly there was a period when we had to cross over to Cabinet for today's Cabinet briefing, and as a result we lost some of you, but I'm glad that you then went on to our comment section asking questions, and JP has given you answers to a lot of those questions. Some of you were worried, could JP and I take my badge, my badge, boy, I'm a badge boy. You ask me, what's monoton? Yeah, monoton. It's very, very cold. So it could together this long. We really needed the jackets. I know you were worried. JP, what are you going to play? I would have said, what are you going to play? But let me change that. In a vision, yeah, I draw one, there are many more. But I don't have vision, yake, so to that person, you know yourself. This is a performance that is dedicated to you, and indeed is also dedicated to all those Jah Prayzah fans who wanted to know what he was doing at home. He came in, he gave you all that information, and I'm sure you really enjoyed the live performances that he gave us. And now we're going to leave you with a live performance of JP's Hokoyo, after which we will also leave you watching an extended version of the Kumawombo video here on Diplomatic Passport, because we were just playing snippets. So Diplomatic Passport returns tomorrow with me, Robert Mukondiwa. And this is a fan special request. Keep your questions and contributions coming at Robert Mukondiwa at ztn.co.zw or on Twitter at Zimrobbie, that's ZIMROBBIE, and we will take them to the authorities in order to keep them accountable to the citizenry. Have a good evening, and Jah Prayzah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Before you answer calls, answer the call for people, and thank you so much for coming here, Jah Prayzah.
Thank you so much for
it. So,
okay.
Beware.
Magadiko chaunga, maita maunga, moita musarinya, azitanga imaudzana, oh goyo. Dai wandirumbidza, kana ndakunakidza, nemutupo wakazara, nemashoko anogara, oh goyo. Wandenda, wazikana ndenda, wandenda, nemukame ndenda, oh goyo. Vachakutsondoresa, varukangara, vachakuvengera chesiya, vachakukumbura, vauchaunganidza pfuma vachatunoroya, mwanangu chaiona namoya chochauya. pamuja kwira komomoze muchina naitsana pamuja pamba munzira mwanangu uchanzwa kurova kweana pauja unganidza pfuma vachati unoroya mwanangu uchaiona namoya joisha hoi 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 yowere hoi 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 yowere hoi yowere hoi hoi yowere hoi hoi yowere ndivukure pfimbi ndigange mbeu ndodyira pfimbi ndibatire tsindi ndodyira shungu handisi muvhimi havana ganda kumeso havana moyo munyoro ava mwanangu uchaiona namoya choishawe vakati namo ngarive zita rako vakati namo ngaive nzira yako paunounganidza pfuma vanoti unoroya mwanangu uchaiona namoya choishawe mira ndikutaurira uyombuke usvike kure mira ndikunamatire zvikombara ugamuchire kura uone kura uone kani mwanangu uchaiona namoya choishawe.
Rodney clean shizzle.
Military touch.
Dainguva yaitsoka shure ndaimbokukumbira ndaimbodawo mukana mumwe daihope dzandoro tandirere daindaidudzira pamwe nasindinewe
ndakanzwa kuti wakachatana Goliati washinga here wapika mamonaki ndakanzwa kuti wakaenda naGoriati kondizo here zviri mumwoyo zviri mukati
taitirure tose kumahungwe taenda tose kunochera makore taitirure tose kumahungwe taenda tose kunochera makore maimariya muzande zvakatangira musunde nashe tikasangana kusimbe ndaitisimuka titambe haiwa kuzo chirongo tihumbe chimwe tichadira